How do you take whatever you're selling, the deliverables of what you're selling, and turn it into an actual offer so that a lot more people end up actually buying it? That's what I want to talk to you about today. But first, if you don't know who I am, my name is Daniel Fazio. We did $798,000 in cash collected last month. I run a SaaS company called ListKit and a consulting, coaching company called Client Ascension and Olympia. And I'll tell you about that later. But first, somebody in Client Ascension asked me yesterday how to sell one of his clients' offers. So he has a couple clients and one of them is selling data. Ironically, because I'm also selling data via ListKit. And what this guy was, it's basically just a list of emails. He's like, hey, how do I turn this into an actual offer? Now, the first thing that we need to delineate between is what is the difference between a deliverable versus an offer? Like, what is actually an offer? So an offer, it's a set of deliverables that lead to a client being able to get a quantifiable and tangible result. So let's make a comparison here real quick between data sheets versus cold email lead generation as a service. If you're running a done-for-you cold email lead generation service business, what you can do is you can go to a client, you can say, hey, I'll guarantee you sign, or I guarantee you'll book 15 calls per month. If you don't get that, you get a refund. Here's a bunch of case studies, right? You can tangibly say that this is going to get you this result. Let's compare that to just the data sheets. The ability of a sheet of data to be able to generate a result for the client is contingent upon the client having a way to send emails to the list in the first place. So it's contingent upon them already having a cold email system. Now, this poses a problem because there exists way more people on the planet who do not send cold emails than who do send cold emails. So if you're trying to sell this, which is inevitably going to happen, if you're trying to sell this to people who don't send cold emails, it's not going to work because there's not a full facilitation of doing something with the deliverable. You can't just sell a sheet of data to somebody who doesn't do outbound email marketing. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't lead to any kind of result. Now, there's nothing wrong with running deliverable-based businesses because that's what this is. This is a deliverable-based business, and you would just have to sell it to people who already send cold emails or who are already actively looking for it. So I need to give you some definitions. We're going to get real schizo-nerdy in this real quick. There's a difference between a demand generation offer and a demand capture offer. So a demand generation offer is an offer that you can create demand for. That's what I was getting at earlier. If you were running a done-for-you cold email business and you do the whole system for someone, that's a demand generation offer. You can generate demand for that. A demand capture offer is something that either doesn't exactly lead to a quantifiable result or only can be sold if somebody is actively looking for it. And that is what data is. A sheet of data is a demand capture offer because you cannot generate demand for a sheet of data. It has to be sold to somebody who that is contingent upon them already having something else, or it just never functionally works to sell it to cold traffic unless there is some other indicator that they are already looking for it. Demand capture offer can only be sold to somebody who was already looking for it. Now, two more definitions. There are demand generation mechanisms and demand capture mechanisms. So a demand capture mechanism is something like Google Ads. It is you quite literally intercepting the demand as it is occurring. So for instance, if you get in a car accident and you search up like car accident attorney and a Google ad pops up for a personal injury car accident attorneys, that is a demand capture offer being sold via a demand capture mechanism. They are intercepting you at the moment it occurs. If you're a car accident attorney, it doesn't make any sense to try to convince people that they need a car accident attorney when they haven't been in a car accident. You see, it's contingent upon something else occurring. So therefore, it makes the most sense to sell a demand capture offer with the demand capture mechanism. You see what I mean? You need access to the people who are already exhibiting an indicator that they want it right now. That's really the only way to sell it. Now, let's compare this to a demand generation mechanism. A demand generation mechanism is something like cold email or meta ads. You're on Instagram and an ad pops up. That's a demand generation mechanism. It literally means that you are interrupting somebody and you're trying to create the demand for the thing right there via the interruption. You see what I mean? So you can see how this makes sense. If you're trying to sell a demand capture offer with the demand generation mechanism, it doesn't work because the sale is contingent upon the demand capture indicator occurring. You see what I mean? Therefore, if you are selling a demand capture offer, it makes the most sense to use a demand capture mechanism. However, there are still some instances where maybe you can only do a demand generation mechanism while selling a demand capture offer. So what would you do if you were trying to sell this like data sheet via cold email, or you were trying to sell it via meta ads? Or if you're doing cold email, you would need to make sure the list is generated and all of the people on the list already actively send cold email. So you would need to make sure that that is the case in the first place. Second thing you could do is just absolutely turbo ram volume to just by happenstance attempt to find somebody who was otherwise looking for it in the first place. Very inefficient means to operate this. Now, the last and most useful way is to just try to morph the demand capture offer into a demand generation offer in the first place. So what that would mean? Okay, you're selling a sheet of data, but now you're not just selling the sheet of data. You're helping them actually do the cold emails. You see what I mean? You want to push it. It's generally easier to sell demand generation offers. So therefore, it makes a ton of sense to try and just morph demand capture offers into demand generation offers, because it's just all around way easier to sell these. Think about these concepts when you're trying to sell your offer. And if you got some value for this, please subscribe. I'm going to leave 2 links in the description. If you're below 25K a month, you want help getting there, you should join Client Ascension. And if you're above 25K a month and you want to scale it to 100K, 200K, 300K a month with ads, there's a case study that I'm going to link below where we spent $432,000 in ads and made $2.36 million in revenue. So if you want to see that case study, that's joinolympia.com. The link is in the description. All right, peace, lads. Love you.